Check it out, check it, check it out, check it, check it, check it out, check it.
Hey, Greg and the CE, call me hip hop junkie. Straight to your dome piece like Brass Monkey. All I wanna know, do you wanna get funky? CNC beats beat.
All righty. Welcome to Turf Talk, presented by Longstreth, our final show of the regular season. And today we celebrate the Division 1, 2, and 3 champions. First, we start off with the Wildcats of Northwestern. 3 national championships now in 5 years, back-to-backs for Tracy Fuchs' squad. And joining us on the show, head coach Tracy Fuchs, the Hall of Famer, along with 2 players, Ilsa Trump, who had that big goal to win it, and her teammate as well, Ella Kokinis. And thank you, ladies, so much for joining us at this special time. Congratulations. What a whirlwind of the last few days. Have y'all come down yet?
Yeah, I think it was a big, fast turnaround because a lot of people went home, unfortunately, already on Monday, and we just got here in Baltimore. So it was kind of sad a lot of people were left, but I think you can hear it on my voice. We had a fun day.
Kind of lost your voice just a little bit. Ella, too, to be able to kind of carry on this celebration with us at your house. What does that kind of mean? And just, you guys must be giddy, like all the way back to Maryland.
Oh yeah, definitely. We slept the whole flight, but I'm very happy for her to be here, and my family is so excited.
Excellent. Awesome. Trace, obviously you're back in the Windy City. Taking care of things there. We talked earlier in the season, way early in the season, even before the ACC Big Ten Challenge. And have you had a time just to kind of take a breath and decompress? And some of your thoughts looking at, just watching them do their thing on the field and the bus and everything after the game.
Yeah, it's as these two said, it's really been a whirlwind. I mean, we've been on the road all season, and everything, we just made it positive. So we were road warriors, and to have to travel, I think the last 3 weekends with Big Tens, and then the first round and second round, it'll be nice to get some rest and relaxation. I think I've slept more in the last 2 days than the last 3 months combined. So it's been nice. These guys have been amazing. What a joy to coach this team this season. It's been really an unbelievable ride.
Yeah, totally unbelievable. And to think that you guys were 10-0 away from home, which is even crazy. You started the first 5 on the road, and as you said, you kind of capped the flip side on the road so much with 12 shutouts during that time in this great 22-1 run. Ilsa, take us through the last, the opportunity, the whistle blows, the corner comes, you get that corner opportunity. Maddie's feet were going a mile a minute before the call was made to get going. She was ready to go. What was going through your mind once you guys called the play?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I was just really happy we could get that corner, and I think it's just with the corner, what I really like about it is not just me hitting the ball, it's people earning that corner, which is I feel like there are so many stats in American field hockey, which sometimes I'm like, what are all these stats? But then I'm there's no stat for getting corners, because I think that's also so important. But I mean, I was just thinking if it's me, then hopefully I can get it in and get this win, because I think we had a lot of chance already the first overtime, and it is going to fall. So yeah, I'm happy in that moment.
Yeah, you're recognized as the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, and you've got a great group of people around you, Ella and Matt. I mean, I can go right down the lineup, right? But for you, what's your biggest takeaway with all of this success that you guys have had as a group? Even being able to win the personal accolades on top of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the personal accolades are nice, but I think it's just just having fun with the teammates, and I'm personally not that with all those accolades. I think it's nice to get that recognition, but I'm more focused on the team, and if you're having fun with the team, because that's all that matters to me. And if people on the team are having fun and winning, of course.
Absolutely. And winning, of course.
Yeah.
Ella, from your perspective, right, you've been a key piece here too, going along the way. And I know, everybody has their roles, what they do, how do you manage your time, where you guys are on the field together. What do you think was the defining moment with the group? Was it the loss to Princeton earlier in the year? You know, everybody says you got to have one good loss to be able to kind of regroup and refocus. Or do you think there was was there anything else along the way that you remember that kind of helped this group take it to another level? Because you guys seem to get along so great.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something really special about our team is how well we get along with each other. I think our first Princeton game definitely added fuel to our fire. But honestly, I think even with that one loss, we never changed like anything about our team. I think we have a really strong culture and I guess like our team packed mentality. So I feel like from start to finish, it was always together and our mantra with heart, just playing for each other. I'm trying to think if there was one specific moment, but I think just being on the road and being all together 24/7, I think we are forced to bond and we love it. So
I know you kind of don't want it to end, right? It's almost like a little bit of a downer when you realize that the season's over and it can't come back around soon enough. Tracy, with this particular squad in both situations, let's go first back to the semifinal victory and the turn of events. You go down one end of the field, you guys make the stop, and then all of a sudden, like we're in the middle of a replay of the game, and we're like, get out of the replay. Maddie's going going the opposite way. And within it was 12 seconds of a differential. You had said in one of it wasn't a timeout, but you had said somewhere in the line, Maddie, run free. And is that just something that now it's just her instincts to run free? And take us through what you and Will and Georgia were seeing on the sidelines as that was transpiring.
Yeah, I think, obviously, Maddie's pretty fast, and she can really go. And I think she's such a selfless player that if people start to get close or mark her, she'll clear space. So we just wanted, especially in the overtimes, like there's so much space, and our team overall is so fast with including Maddie and Sessa and OBC and Grace and our backfield that, we just wanted her to roam and go and whether she got the ball or not, it was going to create more space. And, she did that. She had a fantastic, Final Four. But I would have to say overall, it was such a team effort and people like Ella and Ava and Erin and Pipe and everybody contributed. One person can't win a championship. It takes a village. And honestly, we had Greta pretty hurt for her to push through that game at the end with her injuries. And then I threw her in overtime because why not? But she got to play 2 minutes, which might have been the 2 minutes that gave somebody the rest to help us. But everybody just gave it their all. And it makes me so proud to coach these guys.
Mm-hmm. As we've talked about Grace at length and the opportunity to come over from Princeton and cap her career with us. In talking with her over the weekend, she just seems like so humble and grateful to have this like one last opportunity as her teammates. Tell me a little bit about your perspectives, kind of watching Grace this past weekend, which she had a fantastic weekend as well, and being able to finish it, as a Cat.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so happy she came. She's such like a fun person, especially with her being here in the winter and spring. It was just so fun to get to know her and like spend that extra little more time with her. And I think I remember after the Princeton game talking to her and like kind of joking around, like, oh, maybe you chose the wrong team. But no, she was. I mean, in that moment, she was like, oh, and like I could tell she was sort of mad about her because she was like, I knew they would like ran a double fly for something. Like I wish I said something. And I think, I mean, it was really hard for me. I think Trey said something, and in the lineup after the game, we gave high fives, and she was like, I wasn't crying yet, but when she was crying and hugging her old teammates, it was very emotional to see that. But yeah, I'm so happy she came, and it was so fun having her on the team.
Awesome. Ella?
I think Grace is such a special player and I mean, amazing person. I think you said this, but she's just so humble and she's so gritty in the circle. And it's really cool as a teammate to, you kind of like feed off of her energy, especially when she's playing. And I'm very happy that she got to come early and we got to spend more time with her. And I think we were all so happy when she got to have that like moment at the very end, even with all of her old teammates. And it's very special just being around her.
Funnest part, you guys, we know that, last couple of go-arounds here, we've seen Coach, go to a Blackhawks game and, shoot the puck, and you guys are singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" at a Cubs game and stuff. What might we expect, before next season comes around as you guys proudly parade that trophy around?
I don't know.
Anything,
We'll see.
anything that we can work on for
I
you
think
to
we
be
should
able
get a
to
couple of players to
some of the
shoot
kind
that
of gun?
puck. I think maybe Maddie and, Grace or Maddie and Sessa need to shoot that puck at the Blackhawks game. I'd pick Ilsa, but I'm not sure she's ever held anything else but a field hockey stick. So to go with the people who might have a little
I think
height.
Grace played ice hockey, right? Maybe we
She
should
did.
make her do that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Who's the best singer on the team if you get a chance to go back to a Cubs game?
I'm not sure we have one.
Honestly, Liv is pretty good.
Yeah.
Liv,
That was pretty good.
Liv is
Okay.
really good. If you have the chance, ask her to sing Ave Maria. That's my favorite. She's very
Okay.
good.
All right, rock on. So, all right, so you guys are you're in Baltimore for Thanksgiving, right? So, also, like, what's a tradition for you on Thanksgiving Day? Like,
I
you
mean,
have one? Are you gonna make new memories here in Baltimore?
yeah, well, I'm lucky enough to like honestly the last 2 years spent also Thanksgiving at teammates' house and just like going along with it. I had so much fun already the last 2 years, and I'm 100% sure I'm gonna have a lot of fun the coming days, and we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. Just remember, the turkey kind of makes you a little tired and sleepy, so pace yourself there, because
Yeah.
you guys might have to do beat tests or something pretty soon, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Tracy's like, no, 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 no. Hey, Tracy, I thought it was interesting. Shippensburg also wins the D2s. Obviously, you got a little Husky love there going on with you and Rael. That's pretty cool. That two former Yukon Huskies are coaches now, and you both, two of the three championships are involving coaches at one time played at Yukon. That's really special. Did you realize that, and some of your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I actually had forgotten that Rael had taken over, and so congrats to everybody and Johns Hopkins. And it's so hard to do. It doesn't matter what sport, what division. It's an incredible achievement, and these guys get to celebrate it for the rest of their lives, along with me and my staff and the team around the team. But congrats to everybody.
Yeah, for sure. Really quick, the crowd this past weekend was awesome in Durham, and especially you guys had so many people come up from Chicago, and I know Tracy's coaching wise had a lot of support and a lot of friends, because she is that person. She has a lot of friends. But some of your takeaways from just kind of being on the field and feeling their energy, did that feed off of you guys at all? And what a special weekend for the game.
Yeah, definitely. I think last year we had a lot of fans too, but it was closer, so a lot of other sports teams could drive up, which was so fun. And this year, I mean, it was more special that they even took a flight to come and see us. And I think especially being our Longstreth, I mean, we all like, of course, kind of, I don't know how to say that, but maybe trauma is not the good word, but from our freshman year and we lost. And I mean, after Friday when we ran into the stands and like saw all of them, I think it was very special to like share that moment with them.
Right. Yeah. What was your favorite moment?
I mean, there's so many. We were talking about on the way home, the dinner before or game day eve, being at Sam the lawyer's, that's what we call her, Sam the lawyer's house. But just having this whole sense of community with all the coaches and their families. We were playing Jenga, Mark Jackson playing bananagrams with us. Just having a whole community surrounding you it's so special, and it definitely makes a huge impact. I was laughing with one of our alums, Lauren Hunter, because I could hear when I was on the left side, I could hear her on the field, and it was just like old times when I could hear her in the back. So having that support in that community, it makes a huge difference, and there's nothing more special than running into the stands with all of them.
Yeah, that was pretty special, and I love the way when you guys came off the bus. We were in the middle of our, doing our games, but the Sunday was nice with the Champions Walk and you guys getting to walk in front of all your people and cheering. That was just really cool, and I'm sure Tracy will tell you. I'm sure she remembers a lot of games, Trace, but you probably remember fun times with your teammates outside of the game that kind of carry you through life.
It
So.
makes it special for sure. And it was nice to have, I mean, we had so many other coaches there and, softball, Kate and Carol and Em and Ben, the baseball coach came and Jane and, everybody. And, I rewound the video and when Ilsa scored, Carol Drohan, the associate head softball coach was just, I mean, I think that's the highest she's ever jumped. So pretty special to have all our people there with us. It's a special place.
We had a cutaway actually of you on the sidelines. You had a pretty good vertical that was pretty impressive.
Yeah,
I
about
can't
3
remember if it was
inches.
like this. It was
Right.
pretty impressive. But you are Tracy Fuchs, so there's no surprise there.
Um,
Guys, thanks so much for joining us on the show. Great to talk to you. Very proud of you. You should be obviously your family and your friends are all proud of you, and thanks what you do for the sport.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for covering. We love
Yeah,
it.
thank you so much.
Go Cats, you guys.
Go Cats.
That's right.
Eat a lot of
Go Cats.
turkey. Feel
All
free
right.
to have dessert. Love you guys.
Yes.
Perfect.
All
We
right.
will have much more ahead on Turf Talk after these messages. Stay with us.
So if you must pause or rewind, your mind can disturb your life. So like the darkness is the light that disturb your life. I'm scared from you like the disturb your life. And you lose too much of life. Disturb your life. Disturb your life.
Welcome back to Turf Talk, presented by Longstreth, and I'm so pleased to be joined right now by the most outstanding player of the Division I Women's Field Hockey Championship, Maddie Zimmer. Cardiac Cats, you laid it all out on the line, Maddie, that last game. It's been a whirlwind for you the last few days. Thanks so much for joining us on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's really exciting.
Absolutely, absolutely. So kind of take us through. We were following you on social media afterwards with the trophy on the plane and running around the field and meeting everybody. You had time to kind of absorb everything?
I mean, no, it's always so interesting finishing our season right before Thanksgiving. My team was talking about how we all feel like we're going through withdrawal. Like we got so used to being together, especially because we had, I mean, who knows how many away games this year. We just got insanely close. So it is kind of unfortunate we don't have that time to really soak it all in together for longer. But, we're always still in contact and having a good time. So we'll see everybody next week.
Absolutely. And when you say next week, where you guys planning to catch back up again? Back at school after break or?
Back at school. I actually have to go back to move all of my stuff out officially. But everybody will be back for their final exams, which I'm sure they're looking forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. So really quick, let's go like the studious side here. What is your degree in that you now have at Northwestern?
Yeah, so I'm graduating with my master's in sports administration this fall. So yay, finally done with school. It only took me 6 years to do it.
But that's okay. You think everything you went through, right? Olympics,
Right?
COVID,
Yeah.
everything. So that's just really amazing. And then coming back home, obviously, I know your mom and dad and your brother are going to be happy to see and spend a little bit of time with you. But then does everything kind of shift towards being back with the Olympic squad and start training?
Yeah, so I'll definitely have a couple weeks off. David and our training staff down in Charlotte are really good about giving the college players the rest that they need. So I won't really be playing much hockey in December. And then, hopefully I'll be joining the team in New Zealand in January and then officially moving to Charlotte following that tour. So I'm excited. It's an interesting transition period. Like I'm
Yeah.
so excited to, be able to be a centralized player soon, but also it's hard to let go of, the team and the teammates that I have at Northwestern. So it's like very bittersweet, a lot of emotions, but overall just
Yeah.
like grateful that I get to continue playing hockey at all.
Absolutely. If we could go back, well, let's go back to the beginning of the season. You guys start off, I think you had like 5 on the road, and it's kind of strange. You actually finished up with roughly 5 on the road as well. Thinking about the schedule and how Tracy and the staff put it together, trying to make sure that you guys were in every setting before you got into the setting. Did you kind of feel that way too? And was there any defining moment during this journey, aside from the loss, that you felt helped carry the team into another level?
Yeah, we looked at the schedule, saw that we only had 5 home games, and decided we were going to be road warriors for the season. And I think we really embraced that. As much as it does kind of suck to not, sleep in your own bed, and a lot of girls were like missing a lot of class.
Yeah.
It does just bring the team so much closer. And I think we really were able to feel that. And in postseason is when you really want everybody to start clicking on and off the field. And I think that's exactly what happened. So hopefully for the team's sake, they have more home games next season, less travel. But I honestly think that was a contributing factor to how close we were and how that was able to translate into our performances on the field.
Absolutely. Let's talk really quick about Juliana, her development in just really one season, being in the shadows of Annabelle, and how she was able to embrace it. Tracy was saying that she's really she loves watching video and stuff all the time. Where do you feel as though she developed the most on the field this year?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it is incredibly difficult to try to follow the footsteps of somebody like Annabelle Skubish, who had a
Right.
phenomenal career. And I think Yules has done it, and she's done it in her own way. Um, she's kind of already made her mark on this program, and she's only going to get better. And so that's so exciting to see. We got really close this fall, and she's just a great person and friend, and somebody you really want anchoring your defense back there. I think, as a goalie, so much of your communication is so important to how we play. And that can be really daunting as a younger player trying to come in and, you're directing Ilsa Tromp in front of you. But she just fit in so seamlessly with that. And like you said, she is a student of the game. She is always the first one to send out like little playlists after each game, regardless of if it's a win or a loss, just trying to help everybody be better. And that's, it's not something you see all the time, especially not from redshirt freshman goalie. And yeah, she really stepped up this season. It was really amazing to see her, kind of have her spotlight.
Kate comes over. Obviously, Grace's story is well documented here, especially in the last weekend. 2 players like that are able to contribute right away and fall into the mix and buy into the mix, right? Because you have to be able to want to be, work with the program and maybe give up a little bit of what you normally do. Did you have any conversations with Grace? With those final moments as you guys were running around the field when you got back, which I was dying laughing. I think it's gotta be freezing cold up there. But did you have any conversations with Grace about that and the funness of running around the field when you got back?
Yeah, I mean, Grace and I got really close. Part of that is, we're both the oldest on the team, but also we're incredibly similar people. She is one of the best teammates I've ever had, and I'm really sad that we only got 1 year together, but also just incredibly grateful that she decided to stick around for one more season. Yeah, I mean, that game was really, again, like bittersweet, I think is the best way to describe it. Like that is exactly how you want to end your career. For Grace, especially like against her, former school. And she still has so much pride and like, being able to represent Princeton and Northwestern now. So that was like a really interesting situation for her, but she handled it with, no pun intended, but like so much grace. And it was really cool to be able to share, our last college game together, on the same team, winning that national championship. And I'm just, I'm like so thankful that she was able to come and play with us this year. She really made a difference.
Absolutely, she certainly did. Step back a little bit into your younger self now, knowing now the wisdom that you all have, right? 5, 6 years later.
Yeah.
What would you tell your younger self now, preparing for that time to have to pick a school, feeling that Northwestern was right, and the whole game of it for any young woman who's, in that position right now?
Yeah. I mean, I think, yeah, that's interesting. I think what I would tell my younger self, I mean, I really wouldn't change anything that I did. Like, I wouldn't probably tell younger me to change anything. I think I would just reaffirm that you should always pick a school where you are going to be accepted for who you are off the field just as much as who you are on the field. And that was the significant reason why I chose Northwestern, way back in the day. Because at the end of the day, it's about the people that are going to make you feel welcome off the field, because you're a student athlete, but you're also just a person trying to, find your people and fit in. And yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that couldn't have happened other places, but yeah, Northwestern was definitely like the only choice for me.
Right, the right fit. And so let's say I'm starting to look at schools and I'm thinking about where I want to be. What do you feel as though are 2 or 3 points that you would impress upon? Let's say somebody comes to see you at Longstreth and wants to get your autograph and it starts picking your brain a little bit. What would you tell them to kind of think about as they start to look at schools?
I mean, yeah, like team culture and team fit, I think is number one, the most important thing, because you can go to a great hockey school or a great academic school, but if you are miserable the entire time, then it's really not worth it. So culture was like my number one thing when I was looking. And then my second probably would be the academics. As much as I would love for field hockey to be, a really lucrative sport, it's not. So, we need to pick schools where we're going to be able to get, careers afterwards. And then I think the third would be like the actual field hockey fit, which is interesting because you're going to school for field hockey, but I don't think that your decisions should be overshadowed by just the hockey part. Like coaches can leave, things can change. It's interesting that like hockey kind of was like, okay, third on my list. Like, where am I going to be happy off the field? Okay, where am I going to be, challenged academically that's going to set me up in the long term? Okay, now where can I go that's going to have all of that and can compete for championships? And Northwestern was just able to give me specifically like that mix that I wanted.
Right. But when you get ready now to catch up with the national team and start to prepare for that, but at the same time, I hope that you guys get to run around with the trophy a little bit and go to several places and maybe hopefully go back to Wrigley Field and get to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" again. All right. Which you have a little bit of time to work on that, right?
Yes.
With some of your thoughts on being able to get back with the team, celebrate one more time, and then hopefully have just like a little bit of a tour, I hope. Because you guys have, with Kara Lentz and Suzanne Bush and I were talking about, you guys have not only left your legacy, but now the discussion talks about Northwestern in the big picture. And dynasty, everybody takes that word and uses it in different ways. But I think that this group of Northwestern players and what Tracy has done during her time to change the program certainly has to fall in that conversation, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely going to be really fun to be back with the team for a couple more days, and then it's going to be sad when I leave. But yeah, I mean, as soon as you win a national championship, let alone two with the same people, like you're just bonded for life. Like that's just something that is always going to keep you together. And I already told the girls, like, I'm going to come back and visit. Like, you guys can come down to Charlotte, like we're not going to never see each other again type of thing.
Right.
And, I'm just excited to always be part of that family. Like even when you're no longer at the school, like the alumni support that we had this past weekend was just amazing. Like
Yeah.
it was insane. Like, and and we went to Michigan, last year, like
Yeah.
so many alums come out, and it's just amazing to see like all of that support, and like that
Right.
feeling of like family and togetherness never really goes away. So I'm looking forward to that, now that I don't get to wear the jersey anymore, but the end never comes off. So
Absolutely. That's correct. Listen, enjoy your time, brief time with your family. They were gleaming ear to ear, obviously, watching you, and we all live vicariously through somebody else. So it's Maddie's parents. So, but again, always good to talk to you. I'm sure I'll see you down the road at Longstreth as well.
awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate
Most
it.
definitely. Maddie Zimmer on our show. We're going to take a quick time out. We'll be back with more Turf Talk after these messages. Stay with us.
So if you must fall to be wide, your mind can disturb your life. So like the darkness is the light, disturb your life. I'm scaring you like the disturb your life. And you must know what you like. Disturb your life, disturb your life.
With the team, we had talked earlier in the year. You go through those bumps, and obviously playing in the PSAC certainly prepares you for weeks like the last few that you've experienced. But what most do you remember about this run, especially through the PSAC, and then having to first of all start off with St. A's, the reigning champion, to make that run to the end?
What I remember most of all, there was a lot. It first started with someone called it the revenge tour through the conference championship. So that was very rewarding to end up beating the teams that we lost to during the regular season. But really, I think it benefited us to lose those games because we learned a lot from them. It's hard to say a loss was a benefit, but I truly think that happened. And then, starting off with St. A's, never going to be easy when you make it that far in season. So really, we looked at it, especially in the coaching staff, we looked at it as different seasons. So you have like the regular season, and then the next season was the conference championship tournament, and then the next season was the NCAA tournament. But
So ladies, so breaking that down, with coach, did you guys kind of look at it as different chapters of the season? And how did you feel that helped prepare you for the last big chapter?
Yeah,
Kayla, I'll let
definitely.
you go first.
Okay, definitely. Coach Wallace really harped on focusing on one game at a time. So even though we had a big goal of the national championship and the PSAC final, we really had to focus on each game that came as it went. So
yeah, I agree. We always say that the most important game is the one that we have in front of us. So keeping that mentality that the next game is the most important helps us like to be able to look forward what is going to happen, but also like be present in the game that we need to win, one step at a time.
So Goose gives you the 1-0 lead in the final, and then Newberry responds, and you guys go back and forth. Now, you guys are both big pieces, both in the midfield and the back. What are you talking about to stop this highly potent Newberry team, and then with answering their counterpunch with every punch that they're giving you? Carmen, I'll let you say first.
I would say that the most important thing for us was going back to being in control. Like we are comfortable playing when we have the lead and we have when we're controlling the energy and the play. So one big thing for us was like trying to go back to our play and not feeding into their energy. So that's definitely something we try to accomplish.
yeah, I definitely agree. It's really like playing our game and playing our style and not letting them dictate how we play, and then finding our own energy within, like not relying on their goals to push us forward, kind of finding our own determination to get what we want.
So Goose coming into this final game hadn't scored a ton of goals, right, throughout the season, and yet she gets the hat trick for you guys at the end of the season here. You guys had a really good scoring, a balanced scoring attack, Coach Wallace. What was the difference that kind of opened up the opportunities for Goose to be able to shine for you?
She was shooting on her forehand. I was out here all season to do so, but no, I feel like with our Goose, we were, and probably she was kind of waiting for that, like the dam to break, kind of, if that makes sense.
Yes.
She was dealing with injuries really the second half of the season, the second or the last third of the season. Really, she's been dealing with an injury that has limited her playing time by a lot. So.
Let's talk a little bit about Emma Albee and all that she has been to the program. What a way for her to go out. And what a super effort she has been. I was just looking at some of her stats. Incredible record, 53-9 for her career, Coach. But you guys as teammates, some of what Emma provided, especially down the stretch of that win streak you had down the stretch, for you guys to be able to be successful.
Yeah, she's just an incredible person on and off the field. She brings a ton of energy and really just holds the team together. And we always know that we can rely on her no matter what the situation is. So.
Yeah, I also think she's such a good leader, and it's so genuine for her to lead us. It's just like, it's so clear that she's so passionate about it and she feels so comfortable in that role and she's very good at it. So it's very nice to have such a leader in the team.
Hey, Carme, what attracted you to come to play in the States and especially Shippensburg?
It was all about the winning culture that the program had. It was like so tempting. Yeah. Tempting. Sorry, it was so tempting, like to see a program with such like a good history of winning. Like for the first moment I heard about it, it was all about winning championships, and I knew if I wanted to do it, I need to come here. So, yeah.
Had you heard about the area, or how did it all transpire with you coming? And I understand that this went back probably to Tara and the other coaching staff a little bit too, correct?
Yes. Honestly, I had no idea about anything. I just like believed in her and believed in the program, and yeah, it was all about trust.
A leap of faith. So when you got off the plane and you're driving to Shippensburg, right? You're driving there. What are you thinking? Like, are you calling home and like what's going on?
Honestly, I called my mom and told her I don't know what I did with my life.
Fair, that's fair, right? But now that you're there, if you had to say something to your friends back home about, regardless of winning a national championship, right? What would you say to your friends back home about this experience of coming to the States and getting a great education and being able to play? The championship is just the icing on the cake, right?
I would say that it was the most rewarding experience that I could ever dream of. It's even better than a dream. I have no words to describe how happy and how much this experience and this program changed my life.
Excellent. Kelly, as far as a teammate, like Carme's not the only international player, so you're kind of seeing it from a different perspective. So from your perspective, understanding what it is to, want to play in our country and go to school and have the opportunity after high school to play on, what's your perspective of it as looking for Carme's experience?
Yeah, I think it's incredible that they can come over here and like just be a part of this program, and it must be really scary for them, but they trust us a lot, and so we're really grateful for that. And then just learning from them about their culture, and they're bringing so many new like hockey experiences that we can learn from. It's just like a really great experience for, I think, both ends of it. So
excellent. What's the best dish or dessert or anything that Carme has shared with you, Caitlin, and the rest of the teammates from the States, and vice versa?
oh my gosh, I don't know. There's a lot. You really like the little chocolates.
Yeah,
Remember?
she always brings back little like chocolate candies for us to try. They're amazing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, so you guys take me through the final seconds of that winning goal and what was going through your minds and just the experience. And Coach, I'd even like to, your perspective from being on the sidelines there as well. Okay, anybody can start.
Well, I can tell you that I had no idea who scored the goal, to be honest with you. I don't know. When I found out it was a far post goal, I was very excited. No, I was watching, but I feel like you can't. It's like you can't process it right away. So I had somebody ask me who scored the goal, and I said, I don't know. It doesn't matter. But the way that it was scored, it was a rewarding. The play was very rewarding for us as a team because it's something that we've been working on all season. Really going and overlapping and attacking the play and attacking the circle, but also scoring on that far post. And it was Kelly worked really hard to get up there. She ran a lot in order to do that. So we've been talking about all season about working hard for your teammates, and that was just a goal to represent that, really.
Excellent. All right, ladies, from your guys' perspective, which is a whole different perspective.
Yeah, I agree that the goal was like an embodiment of like what our team culture is and what we were looking to accomplish, like hustle, hard work, and doing the extra effort. And what Kelly did, like the whole run to back post and scoring, I think it's a very good description of what we were trying to do this season. And on the field, it was honestly so surreal. It was so crazy. It was the best feeling ever. I felt like I was like not there. I don't know how to explain it, but it felt surreal all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great experience. I totally agree with what they've said. I was in the back, so honestly, I just felt like I was on the edge of my seat, watching up in the circle it happening. But after it scored, yeah, it was just the best feeling. Everyone running on and being with your teammates and just knowing that you accomplished that. So it was really great.
Excellent. So, like, have you had time to reflect a little bit? I know you're, come back to campus and you had to get right back into classwork, which there's nothing wrong with that, but, leading up to Thanksgiving. But just to kind of reflect on the whole thing as you come back to campus and now can kind of take a breath. It's joyous, but it's sad a little bit at the same time, isn't it? Because you're done. You're done for the year.
Yeah, I think so. It was a great season, a great way to end, but we'll definitely miss a lot of the seniors, and it'll be hard not having hockey for a little while. So, but a great ending, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's the best possible ending, especially for our seniors. Knowing that they're leaving this way makes it like so much better. And of course, we're gonna miss them, but it's so nice to know that the last memories we have with them will be winning a national championship on that field, holding that trophy. So it's very rewarding.
Excellent. Coach Wallace, from your perspective, that senior group, that and obviously fifth years too, that will be leaving the program now. Some of your thoughts on what they've done to help, I want to say keep the standard, but keep, there is a standard when you put on a Shippensburg uniform that they've left their legacy now.
No, they definitely have. And especially this season was, it could not have been easy for them to come back this season and with a new staff and approaching it the way they did. I couldn't thank them more, really, because if they wouldn't have approached it like they did and had been willing to trust us, willing to be open to what we were doing as a staff, we wouldn't have been able to do what we did. So
Absolutely.
Because the captains, because the seniors did start that, and the team then followed along with that, and having the whole team buy into what we were doing, like we wouldn't have this. Definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm just thinking as you were talking, Coach. So there's two of the three of our championship coaches are from UConn, both coaching now. That's pretty cool. That's really cool. So, did you think of that at all? That, you and Tracy both, I mean, in different, different timelines, but, different, did you think of that at all?
Yeah, no, I have for sure.
That's cool. That's cool. That's great. That says a lot, right? From those days and how that's helped you go and be where you are today. Thank you all. Enjoy the moment. I know that when we play sports, our teams that we play with are our second family, and you guys are around your team probably more than your own family. So it is really your family. And so treasure the moment. I know you guys will. Coach Wallace, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we will step aside on Turf Talk presented by Longstreth and be back with more after these messages. Stay with us.
So if you must fall to be wide, your mind can disturb your life. So like the darkness is the light, disturb your life. I'm scared from you, like the disturb your life. And use for what you like, disturb your life, disturb your life.
Welcome back to Turf Talk presented by Longstreth, and pleased to be joined right now by the Division III champions, Tufts University, the Jumbos winning it. What a great run you had. And also, again, all three divisions going into overtime. Coach Tina, you've tasted it in 2012. Your squads have been there as runners up three previous times, and now you take it in extras. Has your heart stopped pounding yet?
No, it was nuts. Like once we went into overtime, I was like, oh no, what's gonna happen? And I mean, we practice overtime all the time. And last year we had 4 shootout games. So I think the returners were like, the vibe was, we love overtime. And I'm like having a heart attack. And they're like, let's go, give me the ball. So I think we were really confident going into overtime.
All right, Hannah and Lydia, if you could kind of just take us through the culmination of those final seconds and what you guys were thinking as it was all kind of materializing.
I don't really think we were thinking about the fact that we could win a national championship until, the final call. We kind of went into overtime playing our game, and I think that was what really helped us. We didn't make it any bigger than it was. And we'd played in overtime against Williams, and we'd felt confident after that, and I think that gave us the confidence to play in the final.
Yeah, to build off of that, I also think we have like a sense of comfort going into overtime, having experience, but also like so much of our game is a passing game and possession. So giving that extra space in overtime gives us more confidence to attack the net and like break their press. Also, for me, I think this has happened multiple times now where they video viewed the last goal in overtime. So I've already like thrown all my gear off and run halfway down the field, and patiently waiting at the top of the circle to hear the call. So that's been a kind of emotional roller coaster, but
yeah, absolutely. And you're getting a whole different perspective back there, watching everything happen right in front of you. Hey, from your perspective in the back, and the run that you guys had, you had to run over some pretty big names that were up in the poll. Obviously, Christopher Newport had a super season. Bates had it. We can go right down the list of challenges that you guys had on your schedule. How do you guys feel as though those matches ahead of the championship game put you in position that you were on championship Sunday?
I really think they just all gave us the opportunity to grow our game. And we keep talking about like how can we play the best hockey we can play. And every challenging team that we face gives us a great game, but that also gives us the opportunity just to build in our skills and figure out little tweaks working together, especially coming out of the backfield.
Anna?
I think we were really excited to play Christopher Newport. We haven't, Johns Hopkins, we haven't played them for a few years. So like looking down the line, we played a lot of NASCAC teams throughout the year, and they're very competitive, but we kind of know their style of play. So we were really excited to play teams that play differently, or that we haven't played for a while.
You guys get back to campus, and I know it's kind of crazy because everybody's leaving for break, and it's withdrawal time. I don't know, even on the broadcast side, like it was sad. We were excited what we did, but it was sad leaving everybody. Everybody going their ways for Thanksgiving? Do you kind of feel a little bit like that right now?
I wish we were together more, but I also think it's fun to be home and also to celebrate with our families.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Hannah?
the parent support's been amazing. I
Yeah.
mean, the parent support's been amazing. Super fans, they're so into it. And so it was cool to have so many parents there. And then I think, yeah, all the parents are taking photos with their kids and the trophy and excited to celebrate with their families over Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've also spent a whole season together, so we're
Yeah, I
pretty
hear you.
together.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Coach, your name is synonymous around New England. The family name certainly with the sport of field hockey, and for as decorated as you are, both as a player and a coach, how humbling is it? You tasted a national championship. You're almost there. You're almost there. You're almost there, and you finally get back to it. It kind of breaks your knees a little bit when it culminates like this again, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing. And I think about like those years that we lost, as a coach, you're going, obviously amazing to get there and through your running through your head, like, what should I have done different? Like, I think like you're analyzing every part of the players game, like what you're doing as a team, and just like so amazing to finally and we've lost in some wild like double overtime shootout in the snow. In 2009, I had my appendix out at the Final Four. So we've had some wild losses. So it was so amazing to get it this year. And I think like for me, last year we had so many big players returning and so many starters returning that I felt personal pressure last year to get it done. And this year was kind of like, well, I know we've got some talent. I know we have a good defense. We'll see what happens. So it's been even more fun. I don't know the last time we've scored this many goals. And in my head before season, I'm like, well, we're good at defense. I'm like, hopefully we can pop a couple goals and then we've scored the most goals that I can remember.
Uh-huh. Lydia, your mom and dad went to Trinity, so I gotta ask, did they feel like it was a perfect storm there?
It was definitely, I feel like my parents were speechless. My dad played soccer goalie at Trinity, and then I've also had both grandparents go to Trinity, a whole family, aunts, uncles that are Trinity alums at the game. And I think going through this whole season, my dad and my mom were always like, get to Trinity, like this is the end goal. And I think seeing that their daughter win the national championship with the Trinity Chapel in the background was pretty special. And I also I wear 44 as a number in honor of my grandfather who went to Trinity. So I think it was extra emotional being in 44 at Trinity, winning the national championship, just a great combination.
Oh, that's awesome. That's good stuff for sure. Hannah, you go to Hotchkiss School and you stay in the country to continue on collegiately. What first of all, what drew you to Tufts? Academically, and to be able to play hockey, continue to play hockey, and some of your thoughts now as things start to wind down for you.
Yeah, it's definitely been a journey. Sometimes I don't really know how I ended up where I ended up, but I loved Tina. I loved the vibe of the team coming to Tufts. I love that it was in Boston. That was like a big pull for me. And obviously the academics, I looked for that. And yeah, it's kind of strange that I'm no longer on the team and I'm moving on to newer things in my life, but I'm very grateful for the 4 years I had at Tufts and the 3 years I had at Hotchkiss.
Excellent. Now I know that there's still a little bit of school to be left, but what do you both aspire to do once you get your degrees?
I am not sure yet. Still very kind of was getting through the season, and now it's time to figure that out.
That's okay.
Maybe more schooling, maybe going in the workforce. We'll see.
There you go. Hannah?
Yeah, kind of the same with me. I'm thinking of doing like a master's in international relations, maybe. We'll see where that goes. Definitely more schooling, I think. Excellent.
Coach, if you could just kind of put a bow on what these two young women have meant to the program. And I also want to know, like, does that guitar come off the wall?
That is a that is a signed Eric Church guitar.
Nice.
Put up in the kitchen when I was out. These two girls are amazing. I mean, it has been they're so driven, they're so focused. I think like unbelievable leaders and really cool to have them on both ends of the field, right? Like, so it was Lydia made a great save, then Hannah would get a corner shot, a goal, and really fun to see them grow over the last 3 years and just they love hockey and they're so into it. And I never had to like push them to do more. They were already doing, I'd be like, oh, on the film, Christopher Newport's, and they're like, yeah, we saw it. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, all right. Like they were already like a step ahead of me and like, hey, Tina, when they do this slip left, like, what do you want us, where's our trail going? And I'm like, oh, okay. Like they were already watching stuff and asking me questions before I in the scouting report. So I think like really dialed in and engaged and like I couldn't ask for anything more for the senior class. And just like my thought as a coach, like we got to do it for them. Like these kids have given 100% for 4 years and it was such like an amazing ending to both careers for both of them was so cool to see them be so successful, especially in the final weekend.
Yeah, excellent. Hey, ladies, we have a lot of younger viewers that watch us who are aspiring to be like you, right? If you could impress upon one or two things that you've learned through your journey at college for someone who's thinking that they want to play, whether it's one, two, or three, give me a couple things that you feel are important for them to think about and consider as they start to break down their collegiate journey and hopefully continue to play.
I think, I don't know if this specifically answers your question, but just to take it all in, like freshman year feels like so long ago, but it's the 4 years go by really fast. And these are some like the most meaningful 4 years of our lives. And I think I also, to build on that, like I would not choose any other path for my college career. And I am so glad I chose to be in college athletics. Like, no doubt in my mind, I am so glad that I decided to play field hockey in college. So for anybody deciding if, oh, should I play? Should I not play? 100% play. Like every single work you put outside of the team, all the hours you put outside of it really pay off.
Hannah?
Yeah, I would say that if you're passionate about the sport, you will be successful in it in whatever degree it is. You will be successful. And I think that it really just comes down to how much you love it. And if you love field hockey, like I really would consider playing in college. I've made my best friends in college on the team, and it's taught me skills that I wouldn't have learned without it. So
Excellent. Coach, you have to be proud of these young ladies, and I'm sure you are the rest of the squad as well. I want to thank you all for joining me on Turf Talk. We're going to take a quick time out. Enjoy, celebrate. Don't have too much turkey, ladies, but thank you.
So if you must fall to be wild, your mind can disturb your life. So like the darkness is the light and disturb your life. I'm scared when you like to disturb your life. And you must know what you like. Disturb your life. Disturb your life.
And welcome back to Turf Talk, presented by Longstreth, our final segment of the show for the season. And we finish it off with two of my colleagues, best in the game and breaking it down, Suzanne Bush and Kara Lentz. Ladies, so good to see you both. That means that field hockey is just one day closer now.
Thanks for having us back, Leah.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's start with the D1 match. Kara, you've done Big Tens all year. Very familiar with all of those teams. Suzanne and I have been on the ACC side for the majority of the season, though we saw a glimmer of the Big Tens at the beginning of the season. Some of your guys' takeaways, certainly from championship weekend, and obviously, do we start to talk about Northwestern now as being a part of that dynasty, so to speak, with 3 in the last 5?
You know, I looked through the Big Ten history book at the tournament, as I do every year because I'm obsessed with it. And Tracy has really gone through a lot to build this program to what it is. The first 2 years she was there, they were the 7 seed, got knocked out in the first round. The third year she was there, they were the 2nd seed. And they went and they got knocked out in the first round against Indiana, like one of the lower seeds. And I know she was heartbroken after those games because she had the girls, she had the group, she had the culture. And then the next year, the same thing happened. And then 2014 was the first year that they won. And I think that's when you saw Northwestern like create what it is today by getting in those recruits, a lot of Ann Arbor natives too at that Northwestern program. So it's been such a long time in the making. And I know Tracy is like 2-3 years out in the kids that wants in her program, and to see it come to this type of evolution is absolutely incredible. Shout out to her entire coaching staff too. I mean, just the amount of work that it has taken relentlessly for Tracy to be able to get where she is today. It's been a long process for her, but she's been able to do it. It's just incredible. I would say dynasty. I don't know how you can't.
Cool.
Yeah,
Susie?
I would totally tag team on that and say, yeah, again, as Kara said, you could feel the momentum building, and the personnel continued. She continued to backfill with great personnel. And obviously they're going to look a little different next year with the absence of Maddie Zimmer. We said that at the beginning of the season, though. They lost a good nucleus of players. And they were really able to fill those positions. How do you fill the void of Maddie Zimmer? You don't. But now it's Ashley Sessa and some other players' time to really shine. Ilsa Trump was phenomenal all season long. So again, bringing back some core pieces. But yeah, I mean, I think they're going to come back strong again next year because, Tracy and staff continue to backfill.
And I think the transfer portal has been key for Northwestern too, as with a lot of these programs, and Tracy's coaching tree goes to places like Princeton. So I think the transfer portal has just helped, those voided places be filled year in and year out.
Yeah. The other interesting piece I thought too, looking back on the season, was we talked a lot about the Max Field Hockey top 50, top 20, and certainly so many programs got immediate response, especially in the top 5 or 6 this year from that. Northwestern wasn't in that bubble of top, not even top 20, I believe. So, that's pretty amazing. Now, granted, as you said, they got grace from Princeton and stuff, but the fact that they went a different avenue and were able to accomplish what they are is another kudo off the top for them. And to bring to that, just some of your guys' thoughts on, like Shea Wozniak. I mean, we go down the list of players who impacted right away. Of the young group of players that we saw that did make an impact, who impressed you guys the most?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think Reese Anitsberger at UNC was a big impact player for them. Just looking at my notes here, Bella Moore at Virginia comes to mind. Mary Adams comes to mind for Virginia. I'm trying to think. 28 from Syracuse was
28 from Syracuse. Where we got? We got some. Aubrey Turner.
Aubrey Turner, thank you. She was phenomenal. Another player that really stood out. Obviously, I remembered her number and I could picture her face. She was phenomenal. That's from the ACC side. I think those players really stood out for me.
Yeah.
You have to look at Jordan Holloman. That's not a big surprise coming from Maryland. I think with Northwestern, Carrie McCormick, she came in, she was a transfer. Still, I think it's incredible that these first-year players are coming in, transferring, going to a completely new program, and having an impact. My notes are over here. They're not open. So I'm sure there's like a greater list there. Juliana Bone, I think working at Northwestern now is one of those two. But I think overall, and players are coming in early on campus, and I think that's been a huge part for a lot of these younger developed players to make an immediate impact.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, Aubrey Turner, it was great to see on social media. There's a guy that normally breaks down big baseball plays. And he took Aubrey Turner's play. He had a different call of what a throw is and stuff, and the aerial and everything, but at least it got on, right? At least there were eyes on it. And that was just a crazy play during the ACCs against Wake Forest. As we look at what's ahead now for next year, and we talked about, big pieces for a lot of teams that will be leaving. Carolina has a big crew that's certainly going to be leaving for them. Virginia, they have a good nucleus. Syracuse with 17 newcomers. I think you have to kind of look at them too, right? And maybe Iowa, Kara, and we smile. We love Lisa Salucci, but maybe Iowa in the Big Ten.
They have a lot coming back. I mean, they have like pretty much their entire core group coming back. You know, they have those three Dutchmen on the front line who just do so much work for the team. But yeah, they aren't graduating a lot. They had a freshman center back who came in. They have a lot of people in the mid. So I think Iowa will be stacked next year. This was the deepest roster Iowa ever had. I mean, Iowa's usually a team that plays like 16, 18 players, but this year they had, you know, up to 26 players on the roster, and they were deep at every position. So you can be sure that this Iowa team is going to be back for next year. They got a ton of motivation losing last year in the quarterfinals to Maryland, not being able to make the NCAA tournament. So this is a team that has just bought in, but I think you're going to start to see them continue to get into that deep into the postseason.
You were there. We're for Tufts.
Yeah.
You know, tell us a little bit about the D3s. They had a great year in Wesleyan. I was excited. I thought maybe Wesleyan, I was looking for Wesleyan or Amherst to have that opportunity to potentially get there that week.
Yeah, you know, it's I thought the level of play was incredible right from the very first game. You do have to understand that a lot of these teams don't play on the same surface that the championship's going to be held in. So like the prep work and any alterations that you have to make like on set pieces to play on an AstroTurf is kind of a big deal, and that takes a lot of work. And, you know, a lot of local D1 schools were able to open up their AstroTurf facility to allow these people to practice on, these teams who are competing. So I think, first of all, the coordination between the D1 and the D3 programs was great, and to allow them to prepare for such a big tournament. Tufts, you really have to look at the mental toughness aspect of what they were able to do late season. You know, Middlebury has been the giant, right? The past 8 years. So we now have a new face in territory, but nonetheless, the NESCAC is still the strongest conference in Division III. But Tufts lost in the semifinal, hosting the tournament at home, didn't score a goal. In the first round of the NCAAs, they put up 11 zip in the first round. So it's like, hey, we're here. Make some adjustments. What else can we do? So then they won, and then they win in double overtime against Williams. They get to the semifinal, going up against the only undefeated team in Christopher Newport. They went up with a 1-goal lead. It should have been 2-zip with a penalty stroke. That was kind of flub on the play. But they were playing pretty much with a 1-goal, 2-goal lead for the rest of the game and close it out. And then you look at the game against Johns Hopkins, they were outplayed later in the game. I mean, Johns Hopkins' defense was like stellar. And you know me, I like the defenders, right? So I'm always going to give them a lot of credit. But Johns Hopkins was not giving them anything inside the circle. And then, you know, field hockey is just one of those games. If you can execute in a split second, I mean, that's the decider. And so they get inside the circle with like 30 seconds in the first overtime. And Johns Hopkins is deep. Even though they played a double overtime the 2 days before, they had like the freshest legs because they are super deep on their roster. And then Tufts gets inside the circle and they score this ridiculous goal. It was like Hannah Picard deflected it. How many times have we seen this year? But deflected it slightly out of the air on her reverse. I mean, it was like ridiculous. And I didn't even see the deflection until we saw the replay. I'm like, holy smokes. What an end of the season run. And Tia Matera, former name McDavitt, was one of my club coaches in Massachusetts. McDavitt's a huge family coming from Walpole, a dynasty. And talking with her throughout the week, you know, they had conversations last offseason where they want everybody that's 100% bought in. And like, they were honest conversations that if you're not here and buying into this, we don't want you here. Like, get out. So like, you know, that's the pretty strong, heavy stuff to have conversations with your team about. But I would say they bought in. I would say they bought in pretty well. But the level of intensity on the AstroTurf too. The second semifinal between Johns Hopkins and Babson that went in overtime was amazing. It was a track meet. I mean, I was out of breath just watching them play. Overall, it was the parity and the competition. I thought it was great. I had a lot of fun. It was a lot of traveling on the weekend for me because I was seeing family in Massachusetts. I drove 900 miles over the course of the weekend. So it was all worth it, though. All
right, ladies. Thanks so much. Have a great holiday.
Thanks, Leah.
And we'll see us in 2026.
Sounds great. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Bye.
That's
Happy
going to wrap
Thanksgiving.
up this edition of our final show of Turf Talk presented by Longstreth. Have a great year, everybody. Finish it off strong, and we will see you guys as well in 2026. So long.
Check it out, check it out.